Everybody, and welcome back to the Rise of Her podcast. Today I have a very exciting guest, which is Bonnie.
Hi.
And I'm so excited to have her on for an interview. I'm hyped. I have so many questions for you, so I'm so grateful that you were able to come and join us.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've been following your journey and I went on like a deep dive of like all of your stuff recently and I was like, you do everything. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I feel sweaty now. I'm like blushing a little bit, like in my makeup. So I always love to get started with you introducing yourself so people can get to know you from your own perspective. As much as I could say all of the things and do a really long list, I would love for you to introduce yourself and let us know who you are. What do you do?
So many things. I am on social media, probably taken a bit of a step back recently, but generally content creation, model, and I'm a social worker. So a bit more of a private part of my life, but that's my day-to-day. And then, I love the dressing up and meeting cool, fun, colourful people. It's a really great creative outlet as well over the years. It's been really great.
What does a day in your life generally look like?
I feel like people get really surprised when I say like how I've balanced content with my day-to-day life. Because I bulk shoot maybe like once a month.
Obsessed.
Once every month and a half.
Yeah.
But generally it's just I work from home or I'm visiting clients or I'm going to the gym. Mm-hmm. And so that's
You're
kind
on a
of
whole
it.
fitness journey right now, aren't you?
I'm trying really hard. It's been really good for my mental health, but also I'm a hypermobile person and I used to be a dancer. And so it's kind of been good just reconnecting and having a healthy relationship with exercise. But gym and work.
Yeah.
And then maybe once a month or every 2 months, I bulk shoot content.
Obsessed. I love that so much because I love talking about batching content because I think it's such a time saver for so many people. And especially if you're working, you can still have a successful career on social media without having to shoot content every single day. I think it's dependent on like what you need to do and what you want to be doing and I guess how you want to show up online.
Yeah.
But it's really dependent. So I love that you batch shoot. I batch shoot as well.
Yeah, it's so great. And I think people are surprised how often it is a solo. Like it's you booking a studio, you setting up the tripod. I know, some people have friends or people helping them.
You still do everything solo?
Oh my God, everything solo.
I love it.
That's
Me
my
too.
little like pat on the back. Yes, I did that all myself.
Yeah.
Very rarely I'll recruit. If it's like a girlfriend booking a studio or going to a location together, locations I tend to rope in a friend.
To save on the studio fee?
Honestly, just the embarrassment of a tripod in public for me.
Really?
I love that other people can do it, but I can't overcome that yet.
Yeah, interesting.
But I will always book a studio just for like the control, the ease, so much less anxiety.
Yeah. Okay, so how did you get started on social media? I think this is my, like we were just saying before, origin story. Everybody has a different one. I love hearing how people start on social media.
Very accidentally.
Really?
So accidentally.
Yeah, okay.
So I was doing a full-time dance degree in 2016, 2017. And it was kind of just you'd post, if you had a routine from class or an audition or something, you'd be posting it on your socials. Instagram was still pretty fresh. Like we still had like the sepia filters and stuff.
Oh, miss them. I really miss them.
Same. Oh my God. So can we bring it back, the old Instagram?
Yeah.
I loved it. And then... meeting up with some photographers. So I was dancing full time, working in dancing, and you meet creative people. So I'd have a photographer that reached out. Great, let's do that. I had a designer, like a uni designer, and so I looped in with them. And then I started kind of having a bit of a portfolio. And then I was like, okay, well, dancing isn't like I was auditioning for stuff, but it was great to delve into modeling as well. And then I signed with a modelling agency. That was kind of taking off. And then COVID hit. And so everything really quickly, all the jobs, modelling jobs that I had just got thrown online of, well, can you do this at home? Can you do a video for me at home? And I was like, okay, like, sure, I don't have a backdrop. I don't have anything. So I was in my parents' media room. They had like a pool table and a wall. And I was like, great, I'd prop things on the pool table and I'd shoot on like a cream coloured wall.
Yeah.
And then eventually I got like curtains to like hide the cream coloured wall.
Oh my gosh, I know
like,
the exact image in my head of this.
So old. And I was putting like the sepia filters over it. And yeah, so it was totally accidental, kind of a natural progression from the dancing to just creatives. But COVID was the big trajectory. And I was very much in... my weight has changed so much over the years. And I'd kind of left the dancing world at that point. And so I was very much in like my body positive, trying to, for me, really embrace the body I was in. So that was a lot of the content I was creating. And I think that resonated with a lot of people at the time. And COVID's where I made a lot of my connections with other people as well. Like a lot of people were thrown online.
Oh, okay. So is that where you grew majority of your following was
time.
during COVID?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's so funny because I feel like not as many people could say that. Like that I've spoken to, they grew before that when Instagram was really really fresh. Like that's when I grew. I guess COVID, I didn't really grow too much. I grew a little bit, but that's so interesting. So you went from like doing modeling like on the side kind of to dance, and then you started posting everything online, and then you grew.
Yeah.
And was it like the body positivity that helped it grow, or was it more like just you being pretty?
A bit
of both.
I don't put it down to my looks. I do think a lot of the comments and the DMs I was getting was very much body centered of, oh my gosh, someone with cellulite or someone whose body looks like mine. Or I remember one video I made was like a Kendall Jenner outfit and trying to recreate it on like a curvy body. I know there was a bit of a trend with, is it fashion or is it just like a slim body
shape, like the Pinterest style
kind
things
of
people do?
Yeah. And that did really well, like people seeing, oh, it's not just Kendall Jenner wearing this stunning outfit, it was now on a curvy body. And so I do think a lot of it was other women connecting and seeing a body that maybe they hadn't seen as much online.
Yeah.
There was a fair share of, you know, the creepy messages
Yeah,
and the following that we didn't want. But yeah, it was absolutely COVID was such a big time for me and my accounts to grow.
Yeah, interesting. And you primarily on Instagram, TikTok?
Yeah. That was enough because I was also at uni full time doing a completely different degree at this point.
Yeah.
And so to keep on top of other platforms was
a lot.
So much.
It's a lot. So did you, so if you were at uni and you were posting on social, were you batching then? Like before batching was like a thing? Or were you just like taking a I love that. Because do you remember there was this article that came out, it was this travel creator and it was revolutionary that she was batching her content. That's what we now know as batching.
Yeah.
But she went overseas and would take like hundreds of photos in all these different locations. That's how she grew her account, but she was posting them from her bed in like New York or something like that. I found it so fascinating. That's actually how I learned batching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was from that article. I was like, oh, so I don't have to get up at 6 a.m. every morning and get myself ready and take a photo.
I'm just really I wouldn't say I'm a lazy person, but when I muster the energy to do something, I'm like, right, we are smashing out all of the hard, like if it's a house clean, I'm doing the laundry, the kitchen scrub, the bathroom scrub. I'm doing the whole thing in one go.
Yeah.
And then I can relax.
Yeah.
And so
that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
So I think it did start from a laziness point.
I wouldn't say that's lazy. I would say that is productive.
Good time management.
And flows really well with how you like to work because it's different for everybody, right?
100%. I find it quite, the social side of it, I find can be quite tiring for me. And so I prefer to condense all of it in one little thing, and then I can just enjoy the rest of the month.
Yeah.
And post things as I go.
Yeah, live, laugh, love. So what did you learn the most when you were growing on social media?
Ooh.
What was like the biggest takeaway that you had?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think overwhelmingly the huge influx, because I grew quite rapidly through COVID, just having a huge influx of other people's opinions, perceptions, assumptions on me, my life, everything. And then being with like my family or those around me weren't in the content space, didn't quite understand it. Or when I'd say I'd be getting all of these messages that made me uncomfortable, they were like, just don't read them or don't give me like, it's not that easy.
Yeah. So it feels really isolating, right?
Hugely isolating. And I think, that was my biggest advice to like when other creators have come to me over the years is really try and build up your connections outside of the platform. Is it like, you know, we've been at so many events and people like Portia and like just connecting with other people as humans. And so you do have that touch base so you can be like, hey, can I check in? Am I being like really obnoxious about this? Or am I getting too in my head? Or just kind of having that pulse check and like safety with other people in real life, because it can be really easy online to just let it like consume everything, and then you're glued to your phone, just people making assumptions or opinions, and you're like, am I a cow? Am I superficial? And you're like, no, these people don't know me.
Yeah.
They don't know that this was one day of my month, and they don't know what I'm doing for the rest of the month.
It's like makes me want to cry because I know this feeling as well. So I think that's really a really important point that you touched on, was like have connections outside of social media. Like that's really important. I think that's something I say to a lot of creators, myself as well, is like, you're a human being. You need human connection. You need to know people. And I think, like, going back to that point of it being so isolating online, especially when you're a creator, you can have like 200,000 followers but feel so lonely, and it sucks. Like, it really, really sucks. So what do you do, apart from obviously like connecting with other people who are in the same space as you? What do you do for yourself to manage your state?
Oh, that's changed a lot over the years. I know, like me recently now, I think I noticed that, and like I know it wasn't the intention of other people, but I think a lot of my friends not in the space would see what I'm doing online and go, oh, well, that's Bonnie. And then when we'd catch up, they wouldn't ask me anything.
About what you were doing online?
Yeah, or just my life, because they thought, you know, what I'm seeing, what they're seeing online. I was like, no, that's like 10% of my life. I purposefully like don't show a majority of what I'm doing online, just for like safety, privacy, all of that.
This is so relatable to me. This is so relatable.
And I feel like it, you know, once we actually talk about it with others, you're like, oh, like that's what we're all doing. And that's, you know, that's, you find connection in that. And so recently I've been really trying to, when I do catch up with people, kind of having, you know, this is my real life, and that's, you know, like the polished.
My job.
Yeah. So like it's a very separate thing, and like really making sure I'm intentional in when I catch up with people and actually connecting, not just having like that superficial, hey, good, yep, great,
everything's
see you later.
Great, I'm growing, everything's really good, the views are great.
Like just
that,
being vulnerable, I guess, and authentic. And it can be really tricky with like life is so overwhelming and chaotic, but reaching out and being like, hey, like I am actually really struggling at the moment. Can we do a coffee? Or, oh, that's a bit out of my budget. Like, can we just go for a walk? Or, and yeah, really seeking out just genuine people, authentic people, and being willing to be vulnerable in my real life as well. Because it can be easy to be vulnerable online. You're like,
that's interesting.
Yeah. Well,
that's interesting you say that.
Can't. Yeah.
I think it's easy when you've done it for a long time, where it's like that's your outlet. Because I'm 100% the same. Like, I find it a little bit more hard to be vulnerable in real life.
Yeah.
But online I can talk about how I look, like what I'm feeling, all of that, because that's kind of always been an outlet for me. So it's really interesting that you say that, because there's a lot of people who are like polar opposite, who are like, I can't talk about anything online because so many people are watching.
Because I was going to say, like, my mum's always had that. She's like, why are people sharing, you know, why are we putting that online? And so, like, have you had other people that are, like, in your day-to-day life, you're like, why would you share that online? But in person, they're more open and vulnerable.
No, I have exactly the same thing as you, where I'll like go have coffee with people and they won't talk about anything that I've spoken about online. I'll post about how I've had a really rough week. Not so much anymore. I used to do it a lot, but now I've got like my kids are older, and I really want them to, because they're in school now, and I want them to not feel like there's that weight on top of existing. Do you know what I mean? Of like their mum posting on social media and talking about them. So yeah, it's been like, I will talk to people about things and they were like, oh, you seem fine online.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, I thought everything was all good. You went to this event. Rah, rah, rah. Like half the time people are like, I went to that event last week. Yeah. Then people were like, oh, you looked really pretty yesterday. And I'm like, no, that was from like 2 weeks ago.
It's called faking it till you make it.
I'm just posting content, like, and that's what it is. And then people will see you like in different outfits and stuff like that and just assume you're getting paid because of your following. And so I think it's like, it's very similar to you in that aspect. So it's just, I don't know.
It's so interesting because, like, obviously we're here and filming this podcast and having this chat, but I don't, like, we've never had this chat before coming here.
No.
I've been friends with people for years and it's never come up, and then all of a sudden a topic happens. You're like, oh my gosh, same. We've had this same experience this whole time and we've never spoken about it. And I think it's really important
absolutely
to talk about it and be like, it's like the magazines from like childhood, and you're like, so-and-so is so fat, they look so sad. And you're like, hey, so that's really mean, and we don't know what they're going through.
Yeah.
And by all these magazines now pushing that narrative on someone, we don't, that could be making it worse. Like, what are we doing in that? And I think it's really important that, yes, social media is glitzy and is like our highlight reel, like that whole sentiment. But I don't know if we actually let that sink in of we're seeing people posting these glamorous photos, but we don't know what the day looked like around that. We don't know what they're sitting with, family, illness, health, life, whatever.
Yeah, we really don't. We have no idea. That has kind of reminded me of that like parasocial relationship people can have. Have you ever experienced that with someone that follows you online?
Oh, I'm going to say no with the women. I think there's been some really uncomfortable interactions with men thinking they deserve something.
Twitch the second you said with men. Yeah.
I owe them something, or they deserve something. They're entitled to my time and my body.
Is this from like dating wise?
No,
or just like
social
men
media.
that you talk to?
Just social media, like random. And sometimes if it's not been a great day for me, I will respond to some of those DMs. It'll be someone requesting OnlyFans, send pics, I'll pay you so much money, OnlyFans, like legit. Hundreds of messages, and I'll just respond saying, hey, very clearly don't do this. Love the girls that do, all my love. Like, I love that for you so much, and I support my girlfriends that do. But it's not for me. I work with kids. I work in like the allied health disability sector. It's not something I'm interested in. And men continually pushing that. And when I say, hey, I very clearly don't do that, come on, they respond with this anger and entitlement that is just so incomprehensible to me. I don't understand the response to it. Or it's, I've followed you for so long, the least you could do is talk to me in the DMs.
That's so rude.
It's a compliment. Yeah. You should be flattered that I want. And you're like, so I've more had that
shocked.
that entitlement, and like I'm gonna kind of say it's parasocial with men. With women, I've never had a negative parasocial. I've had like really beautiful conversations and DMs with women about just bodies or life or and I've loved that, but I've never considered it parasocial from women.
Interesting.
It's just felt lovely and fulfilling.
I love women. Like, we're the best. But no, I have the same thing with on social media. It's like the DMs are generally quite lovely and it's like very supportive. I find it interesting offline. Like, I've had a lot of very negative situations offline where it's like, oh, who does she think she is? Like, why does she feel the need to do that? Like, I could never do that myself. Like, a lot of judgment, which I find so fascinating. It comes from the closest people to you. I don't know if you've experienced that, where it's like the people who are closest to you are judging you the hardest when it comes to social media.
I don't know, actually.
You're like, if they are, I don't know about it.
I think there was a lot of just not understanding it in terms of like my family. But I kind of keep my circles quite small. And so I think the people that were around either just didn't understand it or they didn't make it known.
Yeah.
And so I've never been aware of it. It's more just been strangers or in real life men that I've wanted to date. And when they've moved from the dating app to Instagram, then they're like, they have assumptions or their attitude changes.
That's so interesting. I've had a lot of friends say that when they start dating, if they're if they've got a social media following or they're active on social media, it's like a whole other thing. It's like the attitude changes so much and you're like, okay, I'm still the same person that you met before, but like, sure.
Yeah. And I do think it has negatively impacted any potential romantic.
Really?
I think so. I think they see someone online that is very... they make an assumption of who I am without having met me first, mind you. They make an assumption of who I am based off my social media, and whatever that is for them, they don't respect. And you can clock that quickly, change from like a dating app chat versus moving across to social media. You can kind of sense that shift based on the content they're seeing or your attention seeking or whatever assumption they want to make. but it's been a good way to weed out people that I don't want in my life as well. So I kind of take that away from it. Well, if you don't accept it, then goodbye.
Yeah, it's good that we know now.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you find to be like one of the biggest challenges for posting on social media quite regularly?
Ooh, I think I have taken like a conscious step away from social media recently. I did find it really difficult to balance all the comments on my body and my appearance all the time, especially working in the jobs that I do outside of social media, where I'm like, guys, the issues that I'm supporting, life, death, quality of life, disability, like that, they're quite serious and, you know, they land on your heart quite heavy. And then I come online and people are commenting on, I was better when I was bigger, I was better when I was smaller, I've taken Ozempic, like making so many assumptions about my health and my body and my life. And so it did get really difficult all the time. So I've taken like quite a conscious step back from being online, and I've totally forgotten what your question was.
No, it was more about like a challenge, like what do you find challenging about it, which is kind of
yeah. I think I've taken quite a conscious step back because I did notice a shift in recent years of I think people being critical and being media literate and just generally respecting others. If I see something that I don't agree with online, or maybe I don't like someone's outfit, I
just keeps going. Go. Yeah, you don't have to say anything.
I'm not going to sit here and say, you looked so much better when you were bigger. You're just some average bitch. Can I swear? Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
You're just some average bitch now. I'm like,
cool.
Okay, like you've just decided to now make my day worse. And when it's a couple comments here and there, you're like, whatever. But when you're getting those in the hundreds across years, it does get quite hard to show up online. And I think, like I said before we started, my anxiety today was coming here and then people making assumptions off the words that I'm saying that aren't true. Because I think that's happened so much online is I can say, I don't like the colour purple, and suddenly I hate everyone that likes the colour purple. And you're like, no, that's not what I said. And it plays with my mind quite a lot. As someone that was also recently diagnosed autistic ADHD, that whole kind of aha moment and trying to like pull my life back together after that has now kind of changed my relationship with being online and being so publicly perceived. And so that's kind of been the biggest struggle, and that has kind of impacted my relationship with it to the point that I have stepped away so much. But yeah, I'm kind of like a toe in the social media world, and the rest of it, I'm kind of just in the real world.
No, thank you for sharing that though. That's so, like, it's heartbreaking to know that it's affecting you so much, but it does affect so many creators, like so heavily and so deeply. I think for me, it used to affect me a lot. Like I probably don't get the extent of messages that you get, but I used to get very deeply affected by all kinds, because I would get comments on like my body after pregnancy or my body during pregnancy. I have like photos of people inflating my pregnant belly and like all of these things. I'd have accounts made of me being pregnant. I'm like, I'm not even that big of a creator. Like realistically, I'm not that big of a, like, why are you wasting your time on me? But it just came to a point where I was kind of like, if you're going to waste your time, like commenting on my body, like why are you so bored? Like go get a job. Yeah. Like there are other things you can do with your life that don't negatively impact other people. And I think it's hard. It's definitely different for other people, but I don't take it as harsh anymore. But everyone's so different. Like you've got to do what's most important to you and what feels best for you. Like if being on social media doesn't feel good for you, like what's the point? Like you don't actually have to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're putting out free content, like realistically. You're putting out free content. Yeah, you get to work with brands and stuff like that. It was really fun. We just want to go there. But like you don't have to do any of that. It's not an obligation for you. So you should be doing what feels good for you. And if it doesn't, like peace. You know what I mean?
But yeah, it sucks that, you know, just sharing your life and having fun and being creative can make some other people so critical and hateful. And I'm sorry that you've copped that as well, because it's...
I think we all know that feeling.
I don't think I've spoken to anyone that's
Yeah.
been like, no, haven't had a thing. And you're like...
Yeah. It just is what it is, because there's so many people who are like chronically online who are just like out there wanting to spread that. And it's like, well, hopefully we can spread a little bit of joy with our content.
Hopefully,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Fingers crossed. So I want to segue over to brand stuff, because I'm really curious to ask you a bunch of questions about this. What's been your most memorable, I would say, like brand collaboration that you've ever done?
Oh my goodness.
Because you would have done lots from my perspective.
I don't feel like I've done a lot, but then if I do flick back over the years, you're like, oh my gosh, it adds up so much. I think the most memorable ones is like working with other girlfriends that have started their own businesses. People like Maddie and Maine, or Paris with Summer or Sumay P.
Oh, yeah,
Even
yeah.
Caitlin V with Caitlin V Lingerie. She's been such a massive one. We took her to Bali. We did a few like Bali brand trips with her. Like I've worked with her for years, and she has paused her business at the moment, I believe. But working with like girlfriends and supporting their brands has been really beautiful for me, and kind of has meant more, to every other big brand that I've worked with. Like just being able to support my girls in the space and think like holding their product that they've made and knowing that like I want to help them out, and you know,
you can.
And I can, and that to me is really special, that I've been able to support their brands and they've supported me, and like I think those have been my most special ones.
I love that you like lit up a little bit when you were talking about it. I'm like, because that's one of my favorite things as well about posting on social media, is like being able to, regardless of if you have a following or not, like supporting your friends' businesses is always going to be like so fulfilling for you if you can put an ego aside. Yeah, it's really fascinating. Curious, do you think it's really important for content creators to treat themselves as businesses?
I think it depends why you're in. Like if you just want to have fun and show your crafts, your talents, like if you just want to be online and show what you can do, I think that's great. I think that ticking point, I'm thinking from like tax perspective.
I love that you're like, okay, taxes.
That if you do want it to be a business thing, if you do want it to be something that has that income, I think once you make that decision, it's really important to set it up as a business. So having your invoices, having your tax, you like the knowledge and the education around all of that, because it can be such a grey area if you don't have, like I've got an accountant, love my accountant. He is amazing, and he was really great when I transitioned from doing it as a hobby to more of a career move. I think if you just want to be funsies, be funsies. But if you make the decision to pursue it, I think it's so important to set yourself up and educate yourself and know your boundaries, your limits, because people aren't going to respect those. And so it's really important, I think, to know them before you delve too far into it professionally.
If you're a brand new creator and you're like, okay, I'm going to get started, I've made that switch, I've decided I'm not doing this as a hobby anymore, I'm going to do it as a career, I'm growing my career, what do you think is the most important thing they need to know?
Again, I went straight to like tax time, knowing, like receiving gifted items, that's your payment. You need to declare those as a payment.
I'm so glad you said this. Oh my gosh. I'm so sick of this conversation. No, but like, I know it's a good conversation to have, because I don't think enough creators like are taking that on board. Like, especially if it's your business, like if you're taking this seriously, it's a career, like fantastic. Keep going.
Like we're not, I think, you know, the Tammy Hembros, they're more likely to get audited. They've got such a big platform, but it's not too far off for the ATO to pick, if we're in Australia, to pick a random small creator and make an example of the fact that maybe you're being a bit shady. If you're getting PR gifted items, you've got to declare that as your income and pick the market monetary value. And so I think it's great to do free collaborations or contra collaborations, but being mindful that that is something you have to keep a record of. I think brands should still be paying creators, but we're not going to get into that conversation.
We can absolutely get into that conversation, because I talk about this all the time. Like it's something I'm extremely passionate about for creators who are, regardless of your following, I think if you're creating something for a brand and they're using it to get more money, like they should be paying you. what that amount is varies on who it is and your experience, your quality of content, like what style of content it is. Like I will never, I'm curious to know what you do here, but I don't send out a media kit anymore. I do individualized quotes for everything. Love you.
100%.
But yeah, I do individualized quotes for everything because every piece of content that I want is so different. Like a talking reel is going to be completely different to a 15-second me showing some outfit.
Absolutely.
Like, so different.
And like, do you change if you're working with like a small Aussie owned business versus like a big corporation? Like I change my rates for that.
Well, I change my rates because they're going to use it for more ads than they are. Like a smaller business is going to put less money. Well, from my experience, like, because I also have the agency as well, like they're going to put less money into a smaller ad. A smaller business is going to spend less than if you're going to like work with a bigger brand. They're going to put a lot more budget behind it. Yeah. So it's like you can actually charge more for that because they're going to distribute it to way more channels. So like it's really dependent. But I really ask a lot of questions in the beginning where I'm like, what do you need this for? How long do you need it for? What style of content? How many versions? Like, because there's different formats they need it in. Like, do they want it with or without captions? They need text on screen. Like, there's a lot of questions that you can ask in the beginning to get a really solid price. Do you do the same thing?
Yeah. I'll either ask for give me like a full creative brief or give me examples of content that you are wanting. Are there examples of my content that you really like? Because there's nothing worse than, it's a vague agreement. You give content and they're like, nah, absolutely nothing like that. Go reshoot all of it. And you're like, no.
I include one reshoot in all of my quotes, but it depends on the campaign as well. Like if they want me to do like bulk amounts, I'll try to get it down to like the exact format that they want so that I don't have to reshoot it. If I have to reshoot it, after that there'll be another fee.
Yeah.
Like there'll be a re-editing fee or like I always add rush fees and everything like that. Like
you're good. I don't.
I add rush fees just because I'm pretty booked out. Like I genuinely don't have time. If I have to move something, push something out, I have to add a rush fee. And also your lack of organization is not my emergency. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep, 100%.
So I do my best to make it as easy for them, and that means asking a lot of questions in the beginning.
Yeah.
So
I've
hopefully
been quite fortunate that I haven't had to I've only had to like reshoot a handful of photos sometimes with very particular brands, but I just made it a point to not work with those brands again. Because like you said, your lack of organization is not a fire on my end.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to stress myself out because you have not done the work in the beginning, because I do ask a lot of questions. Like if I can get on a Zoom call with somebody, like that's my dream collaboration is like when I can get on a call and just like nut it all out really quickly. And I'm like, cool, that'll be ready in like a week. Yeah. And they're like, sweet, talk to you then. And I'm like, cool, see you then. And then it's like, cool, easy, like really, really straightforward. What do you feel like is something that brands need to know when they're approaching creators?
I think, and this has kind of become more of a thing in the last year or so for me personally, is the amount of brands just flat out saying, no, we're not paying. It's going to be contra affiliate commission based. And I think that is quite disrespectful. If you're approaching someone that is obviously an established, regardless, but if you're an established creator and these big brands that are approaching saying it's commission based and they're not willing to have the discussion around, do you have a budget? Are you willing to talk about a budget in the future? I do think that's really quite disrespectful to the creator's time, energy, audience. They've spent so long building that audience and those relationships. And so to then kind of just take that and then use it for paid marketing, I think that's one of the biggest issues that I've had in recent years is if you want to build trusting, authentic relationships with creators and their audiences, you got to respect them and pay them for their time.
100%. And also you're paying to speak to a specific audience as well. Like if you're posting it, that's the other thing. Like we're not going to go into like UGC creators, but if you're paying an influencer and a content creator for their audience, for them to post it, like they've curated that audience. Those are people who are genuinely interested in what that person has to say. So that in itself is worth something. Like when do you get to put money into a specific, obviously ads are different now. Let's not worry about it. But you know, like it's so curated, it's so specific. And then you have somebody's voice and their brand talking about yours. So it means something. Like, I definitely think it means something.
And
anyway.
if a brand has then chosen you, we want you to work, we want to work with you, then pay them.
Yeah.
Like, you've approached this creator because you want to work with them. So respect them.
Yeah. Yeah. I 100% agree. We're on the same page.
Yep.
We're on the same page. Curious about what you think on newer creators accepting gifting.
Look, I started with a lot, gifting is where I got in the first place. And again, if that's something that you want to do, like, no hate, no criticism towards it. I think it's just knowing the balance of when you're benefiting off it as well versus when it hits a tipping point and you're not really benefiting from it as much and you're just doing free labor. And I think that's totally different on the individual, whether you've got the time for it, the mental space for it, the passion or the creativity to continue doing free work for others. If you just love doing it and you just want to get free stuff that you get taxed on, go for it. But I think that is such a personal decision. I think, unfortunately, in the creative space, a lot of free labor is done while you're developing your portfolio or getting exposure or any of those, just getting experience.
Just the list of things people will say to make themselves feel confident in their decision.
Yeah. We'll expose you to our audience. My audience is 5 times bigger than yours. I don't think I'm getting exposed to your audience.
Like, I'm good.
And I don't mean that in like an ego-y way, but I have had brands that have maybe 10,000 followers saying exposure, to my audience, not to yours.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a personal decision on starting creators is, where is that line for you? And maybe think about that in advance. Like, where is that line going to be? So when it comes, you're like, great, well, I knew this. This is now the new game plan.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's a really good tip, actually. Like, right at the beginning of when you make that decision, you're like, I'm going to switch from it being a hobby to this is my career. Let's sit down and map out what that actually looks like and like what I will take on versus what I won't. Because you also have to protect your community. And they should not be sold to continuously. Like, they shouldn't have a branded post every single time, especially like now. Let's go back 10 years. You could post a selfie with like a product next to your face.
Oh my gosh,
You would not catch me doing that ever now.
Oh my God, no.
Never. Like,
and I think there's a line between being like authentic as well. Like, if your profile feed looks like a running infomercial, like, you're not going to build that trust with your audience to then support your like paid partnerships.
I would say that's coming from an influencer perspective though, definitely. Because if you're a UGC creator, your job is doing that, then that's
so
your
true.
Portfolio, right?
It's like your resume.
So it's very different. So yeah, I think that's a really, really good split to have. But also, like, if you're anything like me, I have a split between the two. Like, I'm a UGC creator, but I also am a brand. So it's
I think it's important though, like, even though you're doing UGC work, you have, it's like your face and your name is still tied to that. And
my UGC rate's much higher than I would say a standard one. Like, any of the UGC creators that come to me for coaching is like, this is the smaller amount. Like, this is a good starting point. You should never charge less than this. But then if you've got that, exactly what you've said, if you've got a community as well that you're kind of recognizable, you do have to up it a little bit. I want to talk about agencies. Have you had your fair share of like working with agencies? I'm sure you have. I definitely have. And that's why like I started RMG was literally because of how much I hated like working with a lot of agencies. So I would love to know what your experience with agencies has been.
I am very much in the camp of no agency. However, caveat, I'm a very, very type A. My Excel spreadsheet for my accountant is color-coded, multi-leveled. Like, I love knowing all the details and being in control. So for me, as a very, very organized person, I needed to be the one in control of my stuff. And so agencies have just never been great for me because the mystery of what's going on at the back end. But I have been with different agencies for modeling, with socials. I would be with an agency for modeling, non-exclusively. I do have a big issue with exclusive agencies and agencies that charge fees.
Okay. What do you dislike about, I reckon we're on the same page on this one, but what do you dislike about the exclusivity versus non-exclusivity clause that is in a lot of agency contracts?
like, I guess I can only speak to my own personal experience because it's going to be so different for other people and just, you know, personality wise as well. Exclusively, I really struggled with the fact that I had my own platform and established relationships with brands that were coming to me. And so having to hand over all of those relationships because they had to be exclusively managed by the agent I lost that connection with the brand. I felt like I lost that authenticity. Everything felt very numbers, business.
Transactional.
Yeah, very transactional. And details get lost because you're feeding information through like 3 or 4 people at a minimum. And obviously they're taking a cut of that. And I couldn't work and support my friends in business because they're not going to pay the agency fees. And I wanted to help my friends either with free work or with, you know, very low rates. I've loved non-exclusive agencies because you do have that freedom to still maintain your relationships with brands, but, you know, still having the agency supporting you as well. I think that can be a positive aspect of having an agency to back you. But yeah, I would explore an agency for modeling non-exclusively. I think socials, I would have to be I kind of like managing that.
You'd need to have like a manager that you work with very closely.
Yeah.
Because I'm very similar in that aspect but mine's coming from like a business background.
Yeah.
So I really struggled. I have so many friends who are agency owners and I love them. And so I have nothing against agencies specifically. It's more like the culture of agencies I don't really love. So I'm like, our agency is non-exclusive. Like I allow people to do whatever they want within, obviously, like, it's really interesting. I haven't really spoken about this on the podcast, but so because I'm building RMG, what we do is we have like a course. It's like a mini course that you have to do at the beginning, which is like best practices as a creator. So if you come to us and you're like, I really want to work with your agency, you have to do that course first. So it's like kind of vets out the serious creators from the not so serious creators. And then from that, the standard is quite straight across everything. So our brands are getting good quality content. You know how to create good quality content. So I don't really care if you're managing it yourself. If you want to do that, go for it. But I'm here if you need me. That's kind of how I've wanted to build it. Maybe not the most profitable way, but the way my heart works is like that, if that makes sense. And that's just come from like, I've been with agencies which have made me feel like I'm just another face on the website. They've given me promises for the world but not delivered. Just those things that made me feel like I just wasn't worthy, I suppose. So I'm 100% on the same page as you with like, I would work with an agency on a modeling side of things, but I still need to work with them quite closely. Like,
keep me in the loop.
I want to know what's happening. I want to know like who you're pitching to. I want to know like why they've said no. Did they go with somebody else? Like what happened there? And it's just like open lines of communication. I think that's the biggest thing for anybody. And that's like, I think maybe for us as more like experienced creators, we understand what's required because we've been through so many different things. But with a newer creator, I think it's really good to have an agency because then you can figure out like how you like to work as well.
Yeah, if you have a good agency.
That's it, isn't it?
Because like you said, like if you are just another face on the books, maybe they're charging you to update their website every 6 months, but they're not actually updating your stuff.
Wait, have you been charged from an agency to be on their website, like be a part of?
Never experienced
that one before.
A very reputable one that I do. I would sign with again. But yeah, there were fees for getting your images updated and and I understand there are prices that come with comp cards and everything. However, if you're taking a cut out of my pay, then that's quite a big cut.
It's like, can you not like just have me in a studio every 6 months? Because that's what we do, creator days. For our talent is like, you can come out, we'll get some content for you, so it's always fresh, because that helps me as well. Like I can pitch you better.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that's so interesting. If you're looking for an agency, let's say you're someone who's listening who's like, I want to get in with an agency, what do you think like the green flags are?
I think if they're willing to have a discussion, like come in for an interview, what are your goals and aspirations? How can we, making sure that you're both able to achieve the same thing or work together on the same thing. And different on modeling and content, like who are they pitching for or who are they pitching to? What relationships do they have? Can they already see some clients that you would be a good fit for? Like, do they have the work available, or are they just signing you to have another name on their books? If you can, try and chat to some other people that are on their books to see what it's like, what's the culture like. That was what I was doing years ago when I was first sussing out agencies. I was just DMing people that I could see on their website on Instagram, being like, hey,
what's the vibe?
I want to sign with this place, or I've got an interview with this place. Like, can you know, I won't tell anyone, like, off the record, what's your experience like? Because they're going to know, you know, the most. There was, you know, there's agencies that a lot of people tried to get out of. They looked very successful, but behind the scenes it wasn't great. So I think it is important to do your homework. If you can, look up reviews or just go a bit of a deep dive. Do they align with what you want? It's great to be with an agency, but if they don't align with what you want or how you want to portray yourself, then that's not going to be a great relationship. Like, you want to, no matter how big an agency is or how boutique it is, you want to make sure that you align and you feel, I guess, valued, and not just a face on the books. You're actually a person as well. Yeah,
no, so true. I love green flags. We are, I would say, coming closer to the end of our podcast episode. Otherwise, it's going to go for about 5 years. If you had to go back to the beginning of your career, what would you tell yourself that would help you out today?
Oh my God.
Never asked this question before.
I feel like depending on the month, you could get a different answer. I think the season that I'm in, I've only really kind of found myself in the last, I'm going to say 2 to 3 years. Like, I've really started, the pieces have started coming together, and I look back at a lot of my old content and you're like, yikes, oh my gosh. Like, we publicly experimented a lot and tried to find who we were. And it can be quite cringy to look back at. And I have gone back recently and like deleted a whole bunch of content. And not to say, you know, looking back, should I maybe have not posted it, because it got us to where we are and unexpected things came from the most random pieces of content. But I think I could have been a bit more discerning with what I was sharing online. I used to be quite open in like my captions. I would use them like a diary entry. And I think being so vulnerable online did leave the doors open to maybe some of like the negative people to really cling on to that, or make judgments off that. And so maybe I wouldn't be as open and vulnerable and like trusting putting that online. But into saying that, I have been really mindful of the healing impact of being so online and finding community with people. So I can say maybe be a bit more discerning with what I'd share. However, it did open me up to other things as well, and to realize the world's not gonna end if I share what I'm going through or, you know, be vulnerable. So I don't know. Pros and cons.
Don't know if I would change anything.
I could say be more discerning. Whether that I would listen to that if I could go back in time, who knows? I'd like to think maybe don't go ranger.
I loved your red hair.
I don't know. I look back at photos, and unless I was like fully done up, if you saw me waking up in the morning with the big curly red hair, it was a rough sight. Now, like, the fact that I've come back full circle to being brunette, I'm like, yeah, we should have just stayed here the whole time. So maybe we could scratch like the ranger phase.
I feel like that's a really important part of your journey.
It was. Unfortunately, that's when everything popped off, is when I got more and more ranger. But maybe be a bit more discerning and maybe skip the ranger phase. Okay. But we also reaped a lot of benefits from that. So we can appreciate it for what it was.
Okay. I love that. I love that so much. So I know you said you're taking a bit of a step back from social media at the moment. Do you think that you'll pick it back up? And if you do, where do you want to take it?
Yeah, I think I'm happy with the distance I've got at the moment. However, I am still really passionate about advocating for mental health and neurodiversity. That's something that I've always been quite passionate about, advocating for mental health and body neutrality. Because that was a big thing for me. But in my journey of being diagnosed neurodivergent and kind of the flow-on effects of that. As a woman as well, there's a lot of misconceptions and assumptions that comes with. I am really passionate about being in that space online, and I think that is really important. Just women's issues, hormones, justice, whatever shape that takes. I think I will kind of lean back into it, but with more of that mental health, with that discernment, maybe not being as open and vulnerable, but I think showing up and still advocating. There is something I'm working on at the moment that kind of leans into.
Is this like a little sneak peek of what you have in your bio at the moment?
Maybe, because I am really passionate about the neurodiversity and support for late diagnosed or maybe low support needs. And I don't love that term, but for people that appear high functioning, quote unquote, because I hate that term. But yeah, for a cloudy day is something I'm experimenting with at the moment, just to support the neurodivergent folks out there, because it's a rough run, and I've had a lot of challenges with that, with people not believing it or dismissing it or belittling it. And it kind of was like a life-changing diagnosis for me. And so, yeah, I want to support that and advocate that for other people that are navigating it. So that's probably what I'll lean into a bit more, aside from like the fashion side of it. That's still really fun, but I kind of just want to keep that as like a fun thing for me now, not a monetary thing.
I love that. Yeah. I'm so curious. I'm like, ooh, what's she going to do? Because it says coming soon.
Yeah, it's been coming soon for like a while in my head, but I've finally decided to take the action on that whole imposter syndrome of showing up online. And
but it's also, you have that, like, so many people in your DMs as well that you're like, if I put this out there, what's that going to feel like? But you have a much stronger reason why you want to do it than what those people have to say.
And I think that comes into like knowing who you are as a creator, what boundaries I've got. And I think after all of these years, I'm only just finding those boundaries and feeling strong and implementing them.
So watch this space.
Watch this space. It might be months. It might be a year. Who knows?
There's no rush. Like, you make the timeline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You make the timeline.
Yeah.
Okay. So to wrap things up, if you had one piece of advice to leave our community today, maybe it's something that you needed to hear today, what would it be?
So yes, I had to sit with this one for a while, because so many pieces of advice over the years that have been really critical, but this one I keep coming back to. It kind of cycles around every 6 to 12 months. Is if you want to start loving yourself, or like if you think you don't love yourself, the fact that you're trying kind of means you already do.
Stop.
Like,
So
would
sweet.
someone who doesn't love herself continue showing up to therapy? Would someone who doesn't love herself continue trying to learn and better themselves? Would I keep going to the gym? Would I keep listening to my body? Would I keep trying to set boundaries? I think like the fact that I'm trying and the fact that I can acknowledge all the little things I do for myself, I think that kind of does mean I love myself. I might not know it or feel it.
Cry.
No.
No, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. But no,
the
I
fact
love
that I'm trying and I want to, I think that goes a long way. And so when you feel like nobody loves me or I'm unlovable, like, girl, just like look at all the things you do for yourself. And I think that's really important. And I hold on to that one.
Oh my gosh. Can you not? Like, oh. No, I'm not crying. I'm a weeper. That's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. That means like a lot to me at the moment. Yeah. And I was saying before, like, I feel like these pieces of advice, like, they're always for me.
But girl, you're so loved. Like, you are just this sunshine of a human.
Oh my gosh, I feel like you're the same. Like,
Stop it.
Stop. I love it. Just us like loving on each other. This whole fucking
Bawling at the end.
No, it's I think like that's such a beautiful piece of advice that I think will help a lot of girlies today. So
I hope so. The
thank
girls
you.
deserve to be loved.
They really do. If not by ourselves, then who else?
We love you, girlies.
Yes, truly. Okay, so if people want to find you, they want to suss you out, where can they find you?
Bonnie Rebecca on Instagram, Bonnie Bex on TikTok, caveat, TikTok is not a serious posting platform for me.
It's not for a lot
I
of
call
people.
it my shit posting platform.
Good. Everybody needs one.
That's your cringe platform. Or for a cloudy day on Instagram, if you would like some more self-love motivation-y stuff.
Like that piece of advice that we got. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming and joining me. This has been truly like such a beautiful conversation.
Oh my gosh, my cup feels full. Like this has been such a great way to start the day.
I love this conversation so much. And like I said, I was so excited to have you on, and I was so grateful that you said said yes to coming and said thank you for coming on. But like, yeah, I'm so grateful that you came and like had this conversation, was so open with me as well. So
it's been my honor. When I saw your DM come through, I was like,
yes. Yay! I love podcasting. Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening or watching. I hope you've loved it. Don't forget to go give a little bit of love to Bonnie on socials. We'll see you again very, very soon.
Bye.